Welcome back. Well, the South African Air Force holds a special parade to mark 25 years of integrated SAAF and 100 years since the SAAF was founded. Let's get the very latest now and bring in Patricia Visagie. She's a reporter in the capital in Pretoria. Patricia, very good morning to you. Tell us about the celebrations there where you are.
Well, good morning, Blaine, and to our viewers. Certainly, we're here at the Swartkop Air Force Base, one of the oldest Air Force bases here in the capital. And of course, this prestigious event that is taking place to mark the heritage of the Air Force that, of course, started since the dawn of democracy, but also not leaving out the complete heritage and the existence of the Air Force. But to tell us more about this, I'm joined by Brigadier General Hilton Smith. Brigadier, thank you so much for joining us. I see, of course, the men and women of the Air Force just behind you already standing by, gearing up for this parade that is about to take us through what this day, is actually meant to mean.
Today, we celebrate 25 years of democracy in the South African Air Force. We noted that the Defence Force also celebrated 25 years as from yesterday, actually last year. And therefore, we say that we cannot be older than the National Defence Force. Our democracy started in 1994, and that is why the Air Force can be proud to say that we celebrate 25 years of democracy in South Africa.
The parade has officially started. You can see there, of course, they are coming up. For the average, South African who does not know, how would you break it down to them? What does it mean? The men and women in blue here at the Air Force parading. What exactly does it symbolize?
Parades are, in essence, very important to the military, and it is part of our military all over the world, where we have parades to celebrate events, to orchestrate and to demonstrate discipline, to demonstrate who we are. Parades is very important, yes, and therefore we can always look back into history, where we started, with the various forms of parade, and this will be more of a celebratory parade. And our band is involved here. Aircraft will be involved at a later stage. All is part of the celebratory 25 years of democracy.
Let's just go back to these two numbers. We're talking about 25 years of democracy, but we're also talking about the centenary that marks the collective existence of the Air Force. Why are these two numbers separated?
Mainly because we are 25 years in a democracy, and that is what's important for us. So the Defence Force is 25 years, and therefore we are also 25 years. However, we do not negate existence since 1920. We don't negate the fact that we are the second oldest Air Force in the world, and that we celebrate. We celebrate our collective history. You will see on most of the posters, we had our previous chiefs here. Currently on a day-to-day, on parades, like you've asked earlier, we do 30-year parades, we do 40-year parades. So we still celebrate that collective heritage that we have in the South African Air Force.
What are some of the highlights that we celebrate? 25 years of existence. What are some of those highlights that we can say the South African Air Force has achieved over the 25 years? And what are those elements that you can sell to South Africans and say, because of 1, 2, 3, 4, you can still be proud of the South African Air Force?
For me, the most important milestone is the fact that we had the first black South African Chief of the Air Force, Lieutenant General Fabian Msimang. He was the very first one. So that for us is a very big milestone. And during his term, there was a lot of transformation. And if I can mention some examples, there was the re-establishment of the fledglings. There was the re-establishment of the spouses forums. We also very much involved in youth development on an annual basis, and nationally we can see also the progress that has been made in terms of education. The Air Force part in that, because annually we've got camps, in June camps, we've got summer camps where we assist the kids with math and science. So we contribute to the society of South Africa. These are our key points that we have achieved. And then also the transformation. We have quite a number of female pilots, female technicians in areas where people that could not work before. In this 25 years, we could have established even our first female fighter pilot in Mikado as an example. And so we have a lot of other pioneers, but that will come out in some of our other media releases during the course of the year.
Thank you so much. We'll have to leave it at there. Let's turn to, we'll come back to you a little bit later with, of course, Colonel Tudi, who will tell us about the fly pass that will be taking place at 10 o'clock. For now, let's give it back to you in studio.
Yeah, the South African Air Force, a very important part of South Africa's military force, the four arms of service, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, as well as the Military Health Service. And you're going to see all of these arms of service of the South African military in action on the 21st of February. Why? Because it's Armed Forces Day and it's being hosted in Polokwane this year. Patricia Visagie, live for us in Pretoria.